Welcome back to Biology Chemistry, Unit 1, Lesson 3 on data presentation. This is video number 4. So we're going to look at single line graphs in this video, and then we will be working on a single line graph worksheet. So a line graph, and when we're talking about a line graph, we're talking about a single line graph, uses one set of data. So the way that we look at this is we talk about that independent and dependent variable again, and they go on specific axes. And this is pretty much standard, but sometimes there are exceptions. But typically, the independent variable goes on the x-axis, and the dependent variable goes on the y-axis. Remember, independent was the manipulated and dependent was the responding. So if we look at an example on the next page of a single line graph, here is one. So, small town teens with cell phones. Not the best title, but you can see that we have age down at the bottom, and the number of teens that have cell phones on top. So I would say number of teens, well, it should say with cell phones. But again, I didn't make this graph, I found it online. So you can see that their interval is 1 year on the x-axis, and the interval looks like 100 cell phones for each line on the y-axis, but they only wrote 200, 400, 600, 800. Now, at 13, there was 229, so they put a dot there. So each one of these 13 and 229 is our ordered pair. 14 and 273, 15 and 341. They wrote the numbers here because we don't have a lot of lines in here to be able to interpret that. And then they connected the dots. So with that, that is a single set of data. Sometimes you can put 2 or more lines on a line graph, and they usually have a different shape or a color. So this one, even though this is in black and white, you can see a little bit of a difference between the two. And you can see that they have to provide a key here. So the number of people employed in the US age 16 years plus. So the month is down here, the number of people is here, and this has a really big interval for each one of these. It looks like it's 500 people for each interval. They started at a very big number. And we can see that they've graphed both sets of data on here. So one set is 2010 and one is 2011. A little bit hard to tell which one is which. So the next two videos are going to go through, and they are going to look at single line graphs and then multiple line graphs.